Explorers, Kid Explorer here, and are you interested in taking a river cruise? If so, you do not want to miss this video, because in today's video I'm going to go over the pros and cons of taking a river cruise, and I'm also going to talk about a little bit of comparisons along the way with being on an ocean cruise. So this video, it will be very helpful for you in deciding if a river cruise is for you, especially if this is your first time taking one. So let's get into today's video. And before we do, I just want to let you know, last week I did release a video where I did a tour of the river cruise that I was on with amawaterways. So you want to check that out. That link will be down below in the description box, so you can go on over there once this video is finished. Also, please make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. And if you already are, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Now let's get into today's video. So first off, let's run through these pros. So the first thing that I truly appreciated was the payment. So obviously you are going to pay on your river cruise. You're going to pay off on the cruise before you actually go on your trip. But the great thing about it is most of the stuff that you're going to do while you're on this river cruise are going to be paid for in advance, so you don't really have to worry about spending so much once you get on board. All the excursions are paid for in advance. There are no excursions where you have to pay additional, and that's something different than, you know, some ocean cruises. You may have to pay an additional fee for some excursions once you get on board, but not in this case, at least in my experience with amawaterways. I really only paid while I was on the ship. Tips, if you want to. Obviously you don't have to pay for tips, and then I think I bought one drink outside of their special drink hours, and that was it. Now, going with the drinks, they do have hours throughout the day, or times throughout the day I should say, where drinks, alcoholic drinks, so wine, cocktails, are included, where you don't have to pay. So during lunch, you could get you a drink. During breakfast, you might want to get a mimosa. Or during dinner, you can get yourself a drink. Those drinks are a part of the service. And also, there's a cocktail hour. Usually once you come back from your evening or afternoon excursion, there's a cocktail hour where they make special cocktails each day. That is included. You don't have to pay for it. But if you go to the lounge at late night and you want you something on the rocks, you're going to have to pay for it. So choose wisely, budget accurately. Now, while we're on the subject of drinks, let's kind of switch over to food. So one major thing that I completely love is that every dish that we had while on the ship was delicious. Didn't really have any complaints about anything, except that we ate just too much food because it was all so good. Now, you do only have one dining area, and then you have one special dining room for when you have the special chef's dinner that you only have once during the cruise. But any other time, you're eating in the main dining area. So there isn't a variety of places where you could go eat. You don't have the variety, but they do have a variety on their menu every single day. The menu changes. There's always some few staples that are the same, but everything is always good. Now, switching away from food and drinks, let's talk about the sailing. What I really loved about the river cruise is that you get to spend so much time in the places that you're visiting. That is one thing I don't like about ocean cruises, is because you're sailing a lot and you don't really fully get to immerse yourself with the local culture once you dock at those places. But when you're on the river cruise, you are in that culture. Like, you literally are docking in the middle of Lyon, the city center of Lyon, France. You are docking there. You're not far away and have to take some bus or whatever. And you're there for the whole time, and you can actually get off the boat at any other time that you want, as long as you're docked there, and go and see more of that city or location that you're in. So you really get to see that city, experience that city, and be around local people of that area. Pause. So if you are prone to seasickness, and I almost forgot to mention this in this portion, it is good to take a river cruise because there is not many currents and waves like on an ocean cruise. So you will not feel that
much or any movement on a river cruise.
And lastly, one of the cool things about it, especially as being a solo traveler on the river cruise, is that it's a tight-knit group. You end up knowing people that you never met before while you're on this river cruise, because you're going to be on the excursions with them, you're going to be eating with them, you're going to be drinking, going to the lounge. You're going to spend a lot of time with these people, and you really get to know these people on board. So yeah, so if you're looking for some type of community and getting to know some other people while you travel, this might be a good way that you can do so. Now let's move on to the cons of taking a river cruise. Now, first of all, this is something you need to know. I didn't really look at the room we had. You know, someone was planning the trip for us, so I just went with it. I was like, okay, this is my room, whatever. And then when I got there, some of the people I was with, they were staying on the same level as me, and they're like, have you looked out the window? While standing up on the boat, the water literally came up to my nose outside the window. When the boat was sailing at night and I was sleeping, I could hear the waves hitting against the side of the wall in my room. And I was like, I'm glad there's no icebergs and nothing down here to really, you know, it's just the river. Because, ooh, this would be a little rough if something happened, because you're already underwater. I don't know if every boat has the same level names, but it was the piano deck. It is the first level. We called it the basement because it was underwater. Pick your room wisely when you're on a river cruise. Now let's talk about the entertainment. Now on the ocean cruises, entertainment is usually pretty top tier. The entertainment on the river cruise can be, you know, leave some room for entertainment sometimes. Don't expect that you're going to get someone who's going to be the next American Idol or something like that on board your river cruise. It's really going to be people who are really just starting out or really aren't the best at performing. I mean, there were some good things. There were some not so good things. Just make your own fun with the entertainment. Now let's circle back to this not sailing part. So for me, I enjoyed not sailing so much because I was able to really be in that local community more so, which is something I prefer to do, which is why I don't take ocean cruises. Now for some people love the sailing days. If you're one of those people who just love to be on the boat, just hang out and relax while the boat is sailing from place to place, maybe the river cruise is not for you because you're not going to sail that much. Actually, when we got on board, we didn't even sail that first night. So we were on the ship, 7 nights, I believe, and we sailed 4 out of the 7 nights. We would maybe be sailing at most, 5 hours or something like that, but not a whole day, night where you could just really relax on board. Next up, let's talk about the weather. So obviously the weather can affect ocean cruises as well, but ocean cruises has a different beast of a weather situation. River cruises has its own weather situation. While we were on this river cruise in November, it's rainy season in France, and it was rainy, extra rainy, to the point where the Rhone River had gotten too high, and once we got to Lyon, France, we could not pass. We could not get past the bridges because the water level was too high. Actually, one night in Lyon, the water had actually started to go over on land, where they had to build out an extended plank for us to get back in the boat after our excursions. Water is too high, you can't get under the bridges. Now on the other hand, so the water's too low, you can't go through because there's not enough water for the boat to sail through. In our case, our cruise manager really did a great job in making sure we still had the best experience. So we missed out on 2 days of sailing. Once we got to Lyon, we stopped and couldn't go any further, but we still had 2 days left, 2 full days left of activities. And he actually arranged for that first day a bus to take us to our excursions we already had booked. The second day, the excursions were way too far away from where we were docked, but he found another excellent excursion which took us to Beaujolais and Burgundy region of France, right before the new wine drop for the season. So that was a cool experience. to go through, even though, you know, we went through another situation. The last con I want to mention is the meal times aren't the best. I'm not an early morning person, and sometimes you don't want to go on all excursions. I think I skipped maybe 2 excursions. I'm like, I just want to sleep in. But I still had to get up because breakfast ended at 9 a.m. One thing, I can't even eat breakfast because I get sick. And 2, if I'm sleeping in, I don't want to get up and eat breakfast at 8. So there's no option. And if you skip, you know, a meal, or you miss a meal, or, you know, something happens where you can't get the breakfast, lunch, or dinner meals, there's no more options throughout the day. You have to eat during those designated time slots. So that's kind of like, can't order nothing. You can't, like, there's no room service option. There's no other options besides the lounge. You can get a late night snack from the lounge. There was like a light service during lunch, but the lounge is right above the cafeteria, the dining room that you eat in, and it's during the same hour as lunch for the dining room. So didn't really like that as much, especially the breakfast hours. So that's one good thing about being on an ocean cruise, is that ocean cruises, the boats are huge, and there's usually a lot of different dining options open at different times, where you can, if you miss breakfast, there's still an option available for you, which you don't have that here. So just something for you to know. Okay, explorers, so I hope you enjoyed this video, helping you understand the pros and cons of taking a river cruise based on my experience of taking a river cruise with amawaterways this past November. So if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you hit the like button. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. It is free for you to do so, and helps me provide more and better content to you in the future. And if you already subscribed, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Make sure you share this video with your friends, family, and social media networks so they can understand the pros and cons of a river cruise as well, because they may want to take one themselves. And also, if you would love to support my business more, you can head on over to my website and check out some of my blog posts from France. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day or night wherever in the world you are. Bye.